Welcome back, everyone, to Wednesday. Wednesday on this channel is Book Chat Day, unless I haven't read a book that week, in which case it's just, I don't know, we'll get to that when we come to it, I suppose. Today we're going to be doing a discussion video about this book, Last Night in Montreal by Emily St. John Mandel, which will come as no surprise to any of you following this channel, because I said just 2 days ago that's what we were going to be doing today. I'm not going to hold it up for the whole thing because that's not very casual, and this is a casual discussion-y sort of video. Right, so Last Night in Montreal. I alluded in my review video that this was a book that was very resonant with me. If you've read my Goodreads review, you will know sort of why. The themes it deals with are very relevant to my life, I think, and relevant, I think, to a lot of people's lives, especially in this sort of post-young adult, post-25 sort of life that we're living now, and that is sort of feelings of alienation and being adrift. I think I said in my written review, I think I said adrift in a sea of people that seem to be directed towards their goals. I think it's not an uncommon feeling to feel, certainly something I've struggled with and continue to struggle with, is that idea of not knowing where you're going or what you want to do and how to achieve that, and then looking around you and seeing people that are doing things that you want to be doing, or you think you want to be doing, and you get this feeling that they're succeeding where you're not, and that's something that's really brought up a lot in this book. Eli is he's an academic who is struggling with his identity as an academic. Like he thinks about his thesis and he plans his thesis, but he never writes his thesis and he doesn't know what he's talking about. And his friends, is Genevieve and Thomas, like they're a writer and a painter, only they don't paint and they don't write. They just analyze writing and they analyze painting, and they sit and waste full days of time doing this sort of stuff where they're just talking about things and not doing them. And that's a big theme in the book, and it is something that I think a lot of people now struggle with, because you get that question when you're younger, and you're growing up, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And when you're a kid, it's just easy to say something, anything. But when you ask an adult, like, what do you want to do now? It's tough because you don't have all of that time, and you have the context and experience to know, or at least to think you know, that some things are just now out of your grasp. Like there's a certain loss of possibility when you grow up that you don't have as a child. Like when you're a kid, you can go, I want to be a fireman, but as you grow up you think, well, you know, I'm too old and my joints hurt and I don't have time to do all this training to be a fireman. Like, you know, and that's where you get trapped. And that's another theme in this book, is feeling trapped. Obviously Eli feels trapped in his rut of a life, compared to his older brother, or his younger brother, who travels the world and sees things and does things and has all these experiences that Eli doesn't. And he looks at his brother and feels that he is succeeding where he is not. And unfortunately, that's a very realistic parallel in my life, because my brother is also a weird globetrotter. His name isn't Zed, because he's not that bizarre. But, you know, I've had those feelings where, you know, you look at someone's adventures and their life and you think, well, why can't I be doing that? And really, I guess this book challenges you in that you can do those sorts of things if that's what you want to do. But at the same time, I think it challenges that notion of living up to someone else's ideal, and trying to please them rather than doing what you want to do for yourself. It's about, you fall into this trap of comparing yourself to other people but not reflecting on all of the good things that you do in your own life. That is very prevalent in Micaela's story. Obviously, she has this dream of being a high wire artist and joining the circus and all of this stuff when she's young. And even as an adult, that's a passion that she has, but she never leaves Montreal. Like, there's nothing keeping her there. There's nothing but herself keeping her there, because her dad, Christopher, is like the biggest prick ever. Like, he basically becomes obsessed with Lilia. He's the private detective. He's following her and he's chasing her, and he neglects his family horribly. And that really messes Micaela up. But she doesn't speak the language in Montreal. She doesn't have any real friends there. She doesn't have a great job there. And it would be so easy for her, like Lilia, to just hop on a train, go somewhere else and start again. But she doesn't, because like multiple times throughout the book, she asks Christopher, can I go off and do this? And he says no, because that would be a regression. That is something that I did and left behind, and that's not what I want you to do. And she sort of sticks with that, even though this guy is like a massive piece of shit, which he is. She lives by his word, and it's sad. It's just really sad, and it makes sense. Like, the ending is absolutely horrific and tragic, but it makes sense for her character. That would be her way out. And on the other hand, there's Lilia, who on the surface is completely free, and lives a lifestyle, I think, that does appeal to a lot of people. And that is reflected in all of the people that she leaves behind. Eli and Erica and all of the string of people that she lists off in these cities, that she comes through, touches their lives in a meaningful way, and then leaves. That is a horrible thing to do to people, and it messes them up. It messes Erica up. It messes Eli up, absolutely. But she doesn't really think about it too much. Like, she'll think about a few people, barely remembers the previous people. Like, I think a lot of people, when you are settled down somewhere, you make these attachments to people and to places and to things that tie you there. And when someone else comes into that and you think you've got another meaningful connection with someone, and then it's just torn away from you, that is damaging to you, and it's not something a lot of people can understand. There's a great conversation between Erica and Lilia, where they're arguing because Erica thinks what she does is really brave, and Lilia says it's the opposite, that she's actually a complete coward, and can't stay somewhere, because she's always running, essentially, from these connections and these people. And it's a very interesting way of showing that there's a lifestyle that can look appealing from the outside, but when you're living it, it's actually incredibly shallow, and sad and lonely. And that's something that I'm really glad Eli realizes towards the end, because Lilia, it's described as Lilia says that she's like skating on the surface of the world, and she feels like she can skate across the surface forever, and that's true. Like, you can roam about and you can see all these places and do all these things, but Eli proposes that that's not enough. You need to go deeper, and he says you need to fall through the surface and allow yourself to go deep into things and build connections. And that's true as well. I think it's good that, it's amazing that Mandel doesn't put a value judgment on things. It would have been very easy to make Lilia this manic pixie dream girl that's like got this perfect life and she doesn't care, and she's like carefree and everything, but really deep down she is just as sad and lonely as everyone else. And unlike in a John Green book or something where you get that theme of don't romanticize people that you don't know, it has this trust in you as a reader to make these connections yourself. Like, it does sum things up in a way at the end where Eli is talking to Zed, his brother, about what he thinks Lilia's big problems were and how he wants to move on with his own life. But way before that, you know, you get this feeling that Lilia's life is not all it's cracked up to be, and it's sad and lonely, and it leaves a lot of people behind, and it is tragic. It is a tragic story, and it's not an uplifting one, in any way, really. But it does give you a lot to think about. And again, it's only 230 pages, and to put across so much feeling and thoughts and ideas in such a short space it really is staggering. To think about if you have read a lot of books that can't do that. You know, you've got books that are just so long, especially a lot of YA books now that I hear about. They take so much like page space just to tell such a simple story, and that is Mandel's like genius as a writer. In my opinion, is just that ability to do so much with so little. All of her books are very short as well, and I'm going to reread the rest of them this year, I've decided. Now, maybe I'll do it soon, maybe I won't, but we'll see. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. This is a very feelsy sort of video. So yeah, if you have any thoughts on that, do share them in the comments. Like, subscribe, all of that. I don't know how many people are going to watch this, because I don't know how many people have read this book, and these discussions are sort of my spoilery chats, and I have done a few spoilers, but not too many. Not enough to be really impactful. But that's it for now, so I'll see you next time on Friday, 2 days time, for Fun Friday. I'll see you then. Will not be feelsy then. Okay, I promise. Goodbye.